Morning settles over the forests of Kanto. Three young Pokémon share the same land, but survive in very different ways. Bulbasaur lives near the lake edge, where filtered light feeds the bulb on its back. Charmander holds the dry slope, relying on stored heat in stone. Squirtle moves between land and water, surfacing only when safe. Everything here depends on these boundaries. None of the three dominates the forest. Their survival works because the land supports differences. Bulbasaur. Among low plants and tangled roots near the lake edge, Bulbasaur begins its day. Its blue-green body blends into moss and young leaves. The bulb on its back opens slightly as morning light reaches through the canopy, beginning photosynthesis. Bulbasaur waits, unmoving, letting the bulb do its work before taking its first step. It depends on sunlight more than movement. The plant structure on its back produces energy, allowing long periods without feeding or hunting. Its vines stretch forward, brushing soil and stems to sense food, danger, and space. When fruit falls from higher branches, Bulbasaur pulls it close and eats quietly. This edge zone suits it well. Too much shade would starve the bulb. Too much moisture could overwhelm it. So Bulbasaur follows familiar routes each morning, shaped by safe memories. Stillness protects it. Remaining low keeps it unseen beneath the foliage. Higher on the slope, Charmander lies across a sun-warmed rock. The flame at the end of its tail burns with a steady, controlled shape, reacting to heat absorbed through the stone. Without warmth, Charmander weakens. Early morning is its most vulnerable hour. Movement begins only once enough light restores strength. Mist, rising from the lake, pushes cool air uphill. When it brushes across the slope, the flame flickers thin and Charmander shifts to a hotter surface. Its survival depends on decisions like these, tiny adjustments made throughout the day to protect heat from fading. Charmander reads the land carefully. It avoids shaded ground, moving only through open spaces carved by volcanic stone. Every action preserves warmth and distance from moisture. Below both territories, the lake surface breaks gently as Squirtle rises. Only the top of its shell appears first. The rest remains hidden beneath the water. The Pokémon climbs onto the soft bank, its feet sinking slightly into damp soil. Squirtle lives within steps of the water at all times. The lake is both escape and home, food source and shelter fused into one. It feeds close to shore, then slips back into the shallows whenever the world grows loud or uncertain. Unlike Bulbasaur and Charmander, Squirtle relies on movement between two environments. Land offers warmth and forage. Water offers safety. Its life is built on the ability to vanish. As the sun climbs higher, the forest shifts. Mist fades from the lake, colors sharpen, and shadows stretch longer across the ground. Warm light reaches deeper between branches, and the air thickens, pushing each species into motion. Bulbasaur moves through the undergrowth with slow, steady purpose. Each step presses softly into damp soil, disturbing almost nothing. Its vines slide through moss and fallen leaves, pulling small plants closer as it feeds. Bulbasaur rarely travels far. The forest floor provides all it needs: sunlight broken into gentle pieces, young shoots growing in shaded soil, and stored energy within the bulb itself. It avoids open paths. Remaining low keeps it hidden beneath layered plant. Here, survival depends not on strength but on patience. A brief wind stirs the canopy, shaking drops of water loose. They fall against Bulbasaur's back, cooling the bulb. The Pokémon pauses and waits. When the wind dies, it moves again, slipping back toward filtered sunlight. Higher up the slope, Charmander enters another world entirely. The ground is dry and scattered rocks collect intense heat. Charmander searches between them for insects and seeds, pausing often to feel warmth return through its skin. Yet even here, the forest holds quiet tension. A cloud moves across the sun. Shadows slide down the rocks and Charmander's flame narrows, pulling low toward its tail. It stays motionless until heat returns. Only then does it continue feeding. Unlike Bulbasaur, which trusts shade, Charmander depends on dry exposure and vigilance. Its day is shaped by watching the sky as much as the ground. Beside the lake, Squirtle follows its own pattern. It moves in and out of shallow pools, stirring mud to uncover aquatic prey. Drops fall from its shell and vanish into the soil. The lake offers safety, but it also holds risk. Beneath the surface, something dark drifts near the bottom, just far enough away to be ignored, but close enough to remind Squirtle that open water belongs to more than one species. The Pokémon waits, still and alert, until the shape passes deeper into the lake. Only then does Squirtle continue. It lives through caution and retreat. By early afternoon, their differences are unmistakable. Bulbasaur trusts low plants and damp ground. Charmander trusts heat and open stone. Squirtle trusts the silent depth of water. They live apart, yet depend on the same world. Shade, warmth and water lie side by side, shaping three survival paths across one forest. Later in the day, the forest draws the three Pokémon closer, not through social behavior but through shared need. Where the lake meets the lower slope, a shallow stream branches outward from the main body of water. Light catches its surface, turning stones pale beneath the flow. It is here that their paths may briefly cross, one neutral place between shade, heat, and water. Bulbasaur reaches the stream first. The soil here is cool enough for comfort, yet dry enough to protect its bulb. It lowers its head to drink, vines folding close to avoid the water. Every movement is cautious, quiet, shaped by routine. Charmander arrives later, stepping carefully across dry patches between stone and grass. It avoids droplets from the stream and keeps its tail lifted high, the flame glowing against the dimming sky. From a distance, Charmander studies the water. It eats quickly, never turning its back to the lake spray. Half submerged nearby, Squirtle watches the others from just below the surface. Only its shell rises above the stream. It listens more than it moves, alert to every sound. Small splashes, shifting leaves, even the faint scrape of Charmander's claws on stone. If anything changes, Squirtle can vanish beneath the water instantly. There is no contact, no greeting, no conflict, only quiet awareness. For a short time, three very different lives share the same space, drawn here not by choice, but by the design of the forest itself. Water feeds the lake, roots feed the plants, heat dries the rocks, survival overlaps without touching. Soon, the three move apart again. Bulbasaur returns to the shade beneath wide leaves, guided by smell and memory. Charmander climbs toward warmer ground, placing its tail flame directly in the path of the sinking sun. Squirtle slips beneath the surface, disappearing into deeper blue. This quiet exchange marks the closest their worlds will ever come. Three strategies, three distances. One forest holds them together without ever forcing them to meet. As daylight fades, the forest cools. Shadows stretch across the lake, and mist gathers between tree trunks. Bulbasaur settles beneath leaves. Charmander climbs to warm stones, guarding its flame. Squirtle slips beneath dark water, hidden where moonlight cannot reach. There is no dominance here. Shade beside heat, water beside stone. Three species shaped by one world. Seasons will change, yet the balance endures. Leaves for Bulbasaur, sun for Charmander, shifting water for Squirtle. Night returns, Bulbasaur rests. Charmander keeps its flame alive. Squirtle drifts through stillness, three paths, one forest.